Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Every Last One, where we discuss new wave, post-punk, and electronic music. I was recently traveling, so today we are back with a massive 19 vinyl record haul. The question to you is, how many of these records do you think are going to be on colored vinyl? We're going to find out momentarily, but before we do, I have something I need to talk about. A few days ago, I wasn't sure if I was going to do this video. Just like the title suggests, I was down in New Orleans celebrating New Year's. Spent a few days eating delicious food, wandering around amongst the spirits and spooky trees, meeting some cool cats, taking in some great live music, and of course, record shopping. On the last day of 2024, I enjoyed a tranquil hour relaxing in Jackson Square with a coffee and beignet. The weather was perfect. The park was filled with pre-New Year's vibes. People from every walk of life in high spirits. My friends and I enjoyed our New Year's Eve at a fun little bar at the quiet end of Bourbon Street, which, if you follow the news, you'll know was the scene of a terrorist attack on New Year's Day shortly after 3 a.m. This is a video I shot at 2:58 a.m. walking towards the bottom of Bourbon Street. The wait for food was long, so I opted to keep moving us towards our hotel. Waking up the next morning, I had checked my phone and discovered what had happened. And by my estimation, we had walked into and away from the scene of the attack some 6 minutes beforehand. 14 others who had died and dozens more were not so lucky. While none of my 5 senses experienced the attack, it's been difficult dealing with the PTSD and the survivor's guilt over the past several days. Sharing this with you all is part of working through those feelings, getting grounded, and focusing on positive truths within myself so as to not get consumed with regret or worries of what might have happened had I stopped for that sandwich. So if you're still watching this, let me share 2 things with you before we get started. The first is today's focus record is Fascination Street by The Cure. It was chosen in honor of those lost, and it's because this song was written about the true meaning of Bourbon Street, having a great time in the company of those you love. And second, these days more than ever, we never know how much time we have. Take care of those closest to you, hug your pets, and go get yourself a nice snack. This might be a long one. Let's get into it. First store I visited was Euclid Records. It's in a really cute neighborhood called Bywater, super bohemian, full of pop-up shops and cafes. It's a massive store. First record, Cold Cave, Faith in 7 Lessons. I swear, Wesley Eisold tries to new order so hard. Is that Basket of Roses off of Power, Corruption, and Lies? This album features a track called Nightlight, which, as far as I know, is one of 4 songs in Cold Cave's repertoire that sound like remakes of the New Order classic Temptation. The question, though, is it color? Maybe the sticker might give away that there's something fancy going on, but let's find out what's in here. Look at that, splatter edition. Next record is The Cure, Melkweg Amsterdam, 1979. This is interesting for a couple reasons. Got some Wish era artwork on the front there, which is totally out of place. Some bootlegs have hilarious things on them. But this is The Cure captured between albums where they're performing before the 17 Seconds record dropped. So there are 5 songs on the track listing here, of which only Play for Today, that would appear on the album, has the actual lyrics, whereas all the rest have working lyrics. But the question is it color? Here it is in its sleeve. Let's find out. So this one's boring black vinyl. Next record, Depeche Mode, Les Bains Douche. This is Depeche Mode on the Speak and Spell tour, playing at the now gone Les Bains Douche Club in Paris, France, which had tiled floors and baths in several of the rooms. And prior to this performance, Vince Clarke had told the band that he was quitting. But the question is it color? Hot pink. Next record, also Depeche Mode. This is Depeche Mode's 1997 album, Ultra. Not going to talk too much about it. If you're a Depeche Mode fan, you know this record. You might be wondering why a guy with 250 plus Depeche Mode records is buying Depeche Mode's album, Ultra. Doesn't he already have it? Well, I guess let's answer that question right now with the question, is it color? So, inner sleeve, and this one's also pink. So, I'd heard about this release. It's very much a bootleg. Played it yesterday. Sounds like Crackle City, so not great. I have other releases, including the OG and the Gatefold repress, but still happy as a collectible to put this curio in my collection. Next record, Depeche Mode, Live in London. Feel like this one's giving the game away. Not officially just a color record, this one's a picture disc. Next up is Drab Majesty with a repress of their 2012 effort, Unarian Dances. So, didn't have this one. It's more of an EP. It's 5 tracks. Let's see what we got in the sleeve. Is it color? Keeping the pink theme going. Next is Haircut and the Funny Men. That's what Peter Hook used to call them. Live at Tiffany's, Glasgow, Scotland, July 1983. Spare us the cutter. FM broadcast. It's got Killing Moon, The Cutter, Porcupine, Heads Will Roll. But is it color? It's just BBV. There was a pink variant of this, which could have kept our theme going there, but wasn't labeled in the store. Played roulette, came out with the black, no remorse. Next, Joy Division, Preston, February 1980. Recorded live at the Warehouse. There are a couple different versions of this recording. Very raw towards the end of the days of the band. There's an amazing 9-minute version of the track The Eternal, which would appear on their Closer album later. And this show has been described by multiple band members as, quote, the worst fucking show we've ever played. Check it out though, it's on YouTube, you be the judge. Question remains though, is it color? Electric Blue. We're about halfway through the haul from Euclid Records, but stick around. There are some terrific ones coming up in this back half. Next, Kraftwerk, Live, Köln, Sartori Sal. This is recorded in March of 1975 with the classic lineup with Florian Schneider, Wolfgang Flür, Karl Bartos, and Ralph Hooter. Question is it color? Just black vinyl. I have a little story about the next one. Kraftwerk live at Tribal Gathering in Luton, UK, 1997. Hailed at the time as a comeback concert. I know 2 things about Luton, UK. The first is that it is a grey, bleak factory town. The second is that it hosted this legendary electronic music festival where at the height of the electronica boom of the 90s, DJs like Richie Houghton, Andrew Weatherall, and groups like Fluke, Orbital, Daft Punk all performed. Then they shut off the music from all 10 stages and everyone came together in the Trans Europe tent to celebrate the legendary electronic godfathers that influenced them all. So, super cool concert. You can also hear this one online, probably on the YouTubes, but the question is it color? Black vinyl, but for Kraftwerk fans, a must hear. Next is Johnny Marr with Spirit, Power, and Soul Vince Clarke remix. So this is a remix of Johnny Marr's track that came out for Record Store Day off of his Fever Dream 1-4 album, remixed by the legendary member of Yazoo, Erasure, and Depeche Mode. Question remains though, is it color? There's the inner sleeve. Matching pink record. Next record, Slow Dive 5 EP. So there's two remixes on here of In Mind. The first, the Bandulu remix, is okay. The second one, the Reload remix, the 147 take, is this epic 11-minute remix. It's done by Reload, aka Mark Pritchard and Tom Middleton, Warp artists. Previously had a band, Global Communication. This one slaps as hard as anything from the OG IDM era. The question though is it color? Final record from Euclid. This is Susie and the Banshees featuring Robert Smith, Asian Nights, live in Tokyo, 1983. So this one was an FM broadcast. It was recorded at the time when John McKeoch was melting down, who had worked on the Kiss in the Dreamhouse sessions. And once again, for the second time, Robert Smith had to be brought in to play on the tour. I had an idea for a video concept that I wanted to do called Robert Smith's Crazy Year, where I talked about 1983 through 84 when he was in The Glove, in The Cure, and Susie and the Banshees. Let me know down in the comments if you're interested in that and you want me to do it. The question though still is it color? This one is yellow with almost a bit of a stained marbling. Second disc, solid yellow. In addition to this snazzy tote, the good people at Euclid fitted me out with a postcard, some snazzy stickers, including a couple of cool shrimp that are into vinyl records. Next record store I visited, Peaches Records. This was on Magazine Street in a cool retro building, formerly the Woolworths building. And they had a decent selection of new records, bit of a variety shop with lots of other little keepsakes and things you can buy, t-shirts and whatnot. I will say their used selection was a bit of a sad laugh in that it seemed like they'd just gone through a boomer's garage sale and they didn't know the quality or anything to do with what was actually rare or what was actually valuable. Everything had some weird sticky notes on them, including one hilarious find, which was a Beatles White Album LP that was marked in great condition, but was clearly dog-eared with coffee stains all over the front. However, I was able to find a couple of cool new releases. The first is David Bowie, The Next Day Extra EP. This was a Record Store Day release, and I wanted this because of the fact that it's got the Hello Steve Reich mix by James Murphy from DFA, aka also LCD Sound System, which is a really cool remix. And also David Bowie Brilliant Adventure EP. This has Johnny Downloader, aka I'm Afraid of Americans. This was the original working version for this song. They're both still sealed. We're just gonna save you the anticipation. They're both on boring black vinyl. Final record store, Louisiana Music Factory. This is on the historic Frenchman Street, and it's more of a jazz and blues store, but I was still able to find some cool records in new wave and genres that I enjoy. First is Sparks with their sophomore release, 1975's Propaganda. This is the UK pressing, the original from 1975. It features the track Never Turn Your Back on Mother Earth, which some might know as being covered by Martin Gore from Depeche Mode on his Counterfeit EP in 1989. Inner sleeve, but is it color? It's black. Next is Book of Love and their track Boy. Book of Love, cool new wave band. You might know them from their hit I Touch Roses, which was played during the nightclub scene in the movie American Psycho, among other places. This is one of their other singles, but the question is it color? Just black. Final two, The Dream Academy with their self-titled 1985 album. So this one's in very much mid condition. I had to get this because I'm a fan of the track Life in a Northern Town. If you're ever in Montreal, I have a friend there who's a busker who does an amazing cover of that with a looping pedal. It's reinvigorated my love for that song. But the question remains, is it color? It's black. We're at the end. Just one more record, and that is The Shaman with the album Drop. So this is the Scottish band's debut release from 1987. This is super mid condition. I didn't have this one. Bit of an interesting release for them. They were working with Mike Hedges, who had previously produced Susie and the Banshees and The Cure. And this has more of a psychedelic sound to it, more along the lines of like Grebo artists like Pop Elite itself, Ned's Atomic Dustbin, bit like Jesus Jones even. This was before the band went electronic and discovered more of the Manchester baggy sound. So the question remains though, is it color? This is the inner sleeve. Here we go. And this is a translucent green vinyl release. Super stoked when I discovered this. I had to be a good Samaritan and add this to the database on Discogs as this was unlisted. Don't think the record store knew how rare this variant is because of that. This is a super underrated album. It's not on streaming, but highly recommend checking out the YouTubes. And was very happy to find this and to cap off this record haul with this release for you guys today. So that's gonna do it for today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you can see more videos. I'm planning a number of genre starter packs, some docu-series on certain artists, and maybe I'll even drop my first Depeche Mode video. Comment below if you want to see some content on Depeche Mode, or if there's another idea for an artist or video you'd like to see me cover. Thanks for watching. There's a couple more videos you can check out right here. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you guys in the next one.